Hey everyone, I have just completed a very unusual book. This is, of course, Venus on a Half Shell by Kilgore Trout, and if the name Kilgore Trout doesn't ring alarm bells, then maybe the author's picture would. I mean, just terrible. But I went into this after seeing someone talk about Kilgore Trout, and I thought, what the hell, I'll give it a go. And I really, really enjoyed this book. This is golden age sci-fi that just repeatedly takes the mick out of everything. It was really, really funny. It made me laugh a lot. There's chapters in this book that are written and they're so elaborate and silly and detailed, and the whole chapter, the entire chapter was written just so we can make a little joke at the end, and it broke me so often. It really got me. It made me laugh a lot, and I did really, really enjoy it. And the whole story is, I mean, as you might be able to see, the space wanderer. This one human who, after surviving a kind of apocalyptic event on Earth, ends up taking a serum that prolongs his life, possibly indefinitely. And he's a bit of a philosopher at heart, so he starts travelling about the entire universe looking for the answer to the ultimate question. And he will seek out anyone who he thinks might be able to answer it. And there's just like this chaos from start to finish with this adventure. At certain times he gets put in jail multiple times, but he's kind of immortal, so he just kind of waits it out. It's a fantastic way to kind of deal with it. He lands on these alien planets, and the aliens are truly alien. Like, sometimes they're a bit humanoid, and sometimes they're just completely bizarre and difficult to wrap your head around. And he has a lot of sexual relations with unusual alien beings, to the point where you start to wonder if maybe it was a thing for the author. But obviously, Kilgore Trout, not a real person. So the author, I think, was his name is the actual author. I think it was Philip Jose Farmer, and his actual name doesn't feature on this at all. Kilgore Trout, obviously, you've got to read that name and go, something's weird here. I'm going to look into it. And a quick look on Wikipedia tells me that Kurt Vonnegut made Kilgore Trout as a fictional author in one of his books, or maybe many of his books, I think. And then some years later, someone came along, obviously this farmer guy, and said to Kurt Vonnegut, I'd like to take your Kilgore Trout persona and one of his fictional books, and I'd like to make it real. And somehow the resulting book is so enjoyable. I barely even know where to begin. I really, really enjoyed it. It's an absolute romp. You get like almost a different kind of planet and alien species on every chapter. The lady on the front there, the Venus on the half shell, obviously a reference to, like so many other things in this book, a reference to other things. But this is actually a character that pops up and sticks around for quite a while, with one of the worst names in sci-fi I've ever come across. And again, that kind of repeats a lot of the kind of pronunciations and names used for sci-fi things. I think are probably purposefully poor. And this character's name is either Chworktap or Chworktap, and both are equally bad. So it doesn't matter. Like, call it what you will. It sounds awful either way. But the kind of shenanigans of this immortal human, or time immortal human, who bangs around all these planets and different species and different philosophies and all this kind of stuff. Just looking for this answer to this question. And I saw briefly in my quick and brief and hardly even considerable research into the name of Kilgore Trout that this story, Venus on the Half Shell, might have inspired Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And the end, like when he gets the answer to his question, it's just a laugh. Like, it's very reminiscent of what I know of that story. Not that I know too much, but that's a completely different thing. But yeah, I highly recommend, if you can find a copy. Obviously, this is a kind of aged, very well used copy that I was quite lucky to get secondhand off eBay. But if you can source a copy of Kilgore Trout, Venus on the Half Shell, I think it's a much missed, humorous shot in what feels like the golden age of sci-fi. It really, really does well as an individual piece, and I'm very glad I've read it. So I would strongly recommend that you read it. If you'd like to talk about it or discuss it, you know where I'll be. I'll be in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, folks. See you around.